Good morning and welcome to our English Readers Theater Club. And we're going to be reading today a story that comes from, and which one is, we decided we're going to read Monkey Lives, a superhero tale of China. So I'm going to share my screen with you all. And I think we might have to double up and apart, but you know, you guys have become pros at that. You have. It always just amazes me what you do. So we need 6 readers. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we need a narrator 1 and a narrator 2. Narrator 1 and narrator 2, they'd have a lot of talking to do. So I would suggest 2 separate people. Olga, you want to be a narrator 1 and
Nadia, yes.
Nadia,
narrator 1.
Nadia 1. And
yes.
Who wants to do 2? Okay.
Nilanjana.
Nigel's going to do 2. And then we've got, I just want to look to see, we don't have this monkey, horse-faced monkey, ox, monkey. Okay, monkey. Julian, okay? I can't see. Thank you. Yeah. Nilanjana. Unless I see it, I can't. Yeah. See, I would call you probably like something weird like Jill or Jana.
Yeah, absolutely fine.
I mean, I know who you are, but Rihanna, how about Horseface, and let's see, Horseface, and I think it's Oxhead. Horseface, Oxhead. I'll do Oxhead. And Rihanna, how about doing Yama too? Okay. And then I think that covers everybody, and I'll do Ox, and I think we're good. Ox,
so shall I begin?
Okay, yes, I just wanted to make sure we are perfect. Here we go.
So, if you think Superman or Spider-Man has been around a long time, think about Monkey. He has been China's favorite superhero for at least 5 centuries. He's amazingly strong. He can fly, and he has a few tricks those other superheroes never heard of. And he's always ready to do battle with demons, dragons, sometimes even the gods.
Monkey stars in The Journey to the West, an epic comic fantasy from the 16th century. The part retold here is about how Monkey is taken off to the land of death, but not for long.
On the surface of the Eastern Sea, not far from the Dragon King's palace, Monkey landed lightly on a barren rock that jutted above the waves. Stretching himself out on it, he yawned and then studied the sky.
Now that I'm an immortal, I think I'll fly up to heaven and become a god as well. But that's all after a good nap.
He closed his eyes and quickly drifted into sleep.
All at once, Monkey felt himself jerked to his feet.
Huh?
2 men were clutching his elbows. One man had the face of a horse, the other had the head of an ox.
Horseface held an official document, which he studied closely.
Rihanna?
Horseface.
Rihanna?
Is your name Monkey? Is your name Monkey?
Nilanjana? Monkey. Who is Monkey? Nilanjana?
Nilanjana. Is she frozen?
Nilanjana, Monkey.
I think she's frozen.
That's right.
That's right. All right.
All right,
Get moving.
They started to drag him off. Stumbling once, Monkey happened to glance back. There he saw himself still lying on the ground.
What?
They rounded the rock and started across a desolate plain. The sea was nowhere in sight.
Where is this? And how did I get here?
He wants to know how he got here.
We got here the same way as everyone.
After a while, they came to the wall of a city. Above the gate was an iron placard with characters inlaid in gold. Demon Gate of the Land of Darkness.
Land of darkness. But that's a realm of Yama, Lord of the Dead. I don't belong here.
That's what they all say.
But I'm an immortal. I've gone beyond death. Tell it to the judge. All right, I will.
Monkey snatched his staff from its hiding place in his ear.
Grow.
And in half a moment, he was swinging 5 feet of it.
We didn't mean it.
Cried Horseface, fleeing through the gate.
Can't you take a joke?
Said Oxhead, racing after.
Monkey followed them in, still swinging his staff. The demons of the city were terrified, and not one of them dared get in his way.
By the time Monkey reached the Palace of Darkness, Lord Yama was waiting on the steps.
Sir, what seems to be the trouble?
Unmute, Julian.
Sir, what seems to be the trouble?
The trouble? The trouble is you have brought me here.
But sir, I assure you, you will be judged fairly and punished. I mean, be educated strictly according to your past deeds. Then when the evil you have done has been avenged, I mean corrected, you will be returned to the land of light for a brand new life.
I don't want to be reborn. I don't want to die in the first place. Don't you realize I'm an immortal?
An immortal? There must be some mistake.
Exactly. I demand to see the register of life and death.
Yama led him into the hall of darkness, where a clerk dragged out several musty volumes. Monkey searched till he found his name.
Writing brush.
And the clerk gave him one dipped in ink. Monkey blotted his name from the register.
That should do it.
This is most irregular.
Tell it to the judge.
He slammed the book shut and rushed out. Then he made his way back to the city wall, swinging his staff as he went.
Just outside the gate, Monkey tripped and fell rolling. When he opened his eyes, he was back on the rock in the eastern sea.
Wonderful,
cried Monkey as he jumped to his feet.
Next stop, heaven.
Very good. Well, just an aside. If you fall out and come back in, you have to remember to unmute yourself again. Yeah. But that was good the way you were able to come back in and pick up and read it. So, it was a couple of things that I had sent in the newsletter. And one of them was a question. I'm going to go back to the play and share my screen again. One of them was a question asking, do you think that this actually happened to Monkey? Or did he dream that it happened to Monkey? I'm thinking in my mind of something similar and a story that I know as a child of a young girl who goes through adventures. But it's all, she wakes up back under the tree. Do you know what story I'm thinking of? She follows a rabbit down a hole.
Oh, Alice in Wonderland.
yes, really.
The White
Alice
Rabbit.
in
yeah.
Wonderland. Yeah.
Oh, I love
And
fairy
Alice,
tales.
you know, she's listening to her sister reading on the book, and
Yeah.
it's warm, and suddenly a rabbit goes by. Now, it doesn't necessarily say that she fell asleep, except that she wakes up back, she wakes up under the tree. So then you realize that. So I'm thinking here. I wonder, as the story goes, he's going to go and he's going to take a nap, but that's after a good nap, and he closes his eyes and quickly drifts off to sleep. And then at the very end, very end, and next stop, Monkey trips and fell rolling. When he opened his eyes, he was back on the rock in the East Sea. So, what do you think? Do you think it was a dream, or that he actually went through this as an immortal? I'm just wondering what your interpretation was.
I think he had just woken up in the very beginning, kind of, he is dazed. So that very word, it might be possible. Like there's a two-way of looking at it.
Yeah, there is. That's why I say it's kind of fun now, because now we can start doing some more critical thinking about the story. Part of what narrator 2 read here, Monkey stars in the Journal of the West, an epic comic fantasy from the 60s. What is this, in a sense? If you go, you can actually find this comic, kind of an ad, a little bit of a blurb so you can follow. Did anybody happen to see if they could find the Journey to the West at all? No. Okay. There's a couple of words I just wanted to check, and then I also wanted to ask you, what did you think about highlighting words as I did in this particular one?
It's very
I do
good.
not understand jooted. What is the jooted?
Okay, this was good. You liked this. Okay. See, I'm never quite sure which word, so I have to kind of sort of second guess, but I will continue to do this. All right. Nadia, what did you ask?
Jooted.
Jutted. Rayhana asked about jutted.
Jutted. Yeah, it's jutted.
Pronounce it jutted. Jutted.
Okay, let's look at how it's used. Monkey landed lightly on a barren rock that jutted above the waves.
Maybe stood above, was high above,
Above
rose
the waves.
above.
Okay. So, does that make sense now? A lot of times, if you're not quite sure about what a word means, I'll always tell the readers, go back and read the sentence and see what words you can use that will help you get the meaning of that word. And if you look, we have the word that it jutted above the waves. It almost tells you
Rose above the waves.
above.
Yes.
It goes up above. Oh, okay. Were there any other words? This one here. Okay, I can't highlight it. All right. D-E-M-O-N-S. I'm looking at it. What is it?
It's a demon.
Demons.
Yeah. Okay. Do you know what's another word for a demon?
Satan, maybe. Satan.
Sure. Satan would be good. Or devil, demons. Okay. Let's see. I wrote down words, and a narrator 1 here reads, all at once Monkey felt himself
To his feet, yeah.
what's
Joked, jumped to his feet. Yes.
jerk,
Jump.
jerk.
Jump.
Jerk,
Jump to his feet.
No. Yeah, to jump. Well, no, he didn't. That's not what jerk means. Jerk means something yanked him. Jerk. Okay. Your base word is to jerk.
Got to his
pull.
feet. Good,
Huh?
good, good up.
Okay.
Stood up. Rose.
Hmm.
Jumped to
Pulled.
his feet.
He was pulled up. He didn't
Pulled.
do. He did not do it
Ah, really?
himself.
Yeah.
Yes. He
He-
was
it was
forced to
done
do it.
to him.
Yes.
Mm.
Sure.
Somebody
Yes.
put
Mm.
him.
Okay.
His feet, yes.
Let me see. What else did I write here? If I could read my writing. Let's see. I'm not sure
Desolate.
I'll find it right off.
Deserted.
Well, if I see it as we go along, I write down words. But, you know, again, listen to the reading because you will hear, you know, the mistakes yourself in some of the pronunciations. And that's really what we want to do, is to be able to train our ears to be able to hear what that is. What is a desolate plain? They rounded the rock and stared across a desolate plain.
Abandoned,
Desolate.
abandoned,
Abandoned. Deserted. Yes.
Deserted, empty, nothing
empty.
there.
Empty.
We use this word even for human beings, like who do not have any shelter or, you know, no family, nothing. So we say that he's a desolate.
Really?
Yeah, we in one of the novels, you know, by a very famous writer. So he had written, and that word, you know, because we don't use it that way. We have never used it that way. But it's written that he was a desolate. So you know
That's
that's how I.
interesting. So
Okay.
that used in a description of a person who
Yeah.
has no family, no place. I guess, well,
I think it was Charles Dickens. Charles Dickens, maybe, because he mostly wrote about such things. Maybe.
yeah, that would be interesting to see. It might have been like in Pippin. You know, which we should see if we can find out what that, you know, which story it was that refers to that in. That's a, you know, what another thing that's so cool about this is, you know, this is leading to so many other things to explore and learn about, you know. So if we read one thing, there's a question here or something there, you know. So it's really.
Yeah, I found it. It's someone who's unhappy or who's miserable and sad.
Oh,
That person is a desolate.
okay. Miserable and happy or sad. Very good. Thank you. I love him. Anyhow, horse face. In the parentheses, he snorts. What is that?
It's a kind of sound that comes out, you know, while you're breathing. You know, I'm not getting that word.
No, that's right. Can you think of an animal, maybe
Pig.
Pig, yeah, yeah,
It's not. Yeah.
yeah, it snorts. And what's the next word after that?
Sarcastically.
Sarcastically. What is it? Sorry, what does it mean to say something sarcastically?
To say something but mean something else, actually. Like, for instance, if you say something stupid and you say, wow, I did not know you have so much of common sense. So that's being sarcastic.
Yeah, that's a good example. Right.
Yeah.
So if in the parentheses in the Reader's Theater, it sort of gives you an idea of how to read that, you know. So how would you read horseface if you were doing it according to the directions within the Reader's Theater? Can you come up with an idea how you might read that? Okay.
He wants to know how he got here.
Yeah, right. Because Monkey says, where is this? And how did I get here? He wants to know how he got here. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Because when you get to understand the words, you begin to be able to use them in the developing of the character. And you can't develop the character in the whole body. And in a sense you can, but you don't have the movements and that. So it's all got to be here in your imagination, and you have to look at what it might look like, what it might sound like, and then you just let it go, and then try and get that into your voice, just as you did in The Old Lady.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
if you look, and we're talking about another step in the process, if you go back and watch yourself when you were doing The Old Lady, what was your body language like? Was your body language, let me see if I can get this. Okay. I'm just going to stop sharing the screen because this is kind of an important thing, particularly when you're talking about doing trainings and having a readings theater. All of these things are things that you look at and think about, because in fact, who's running the theater are the learners you're working with. So your powers of observation and whatever is what helps develop them. You, Michelangelo, if you watched, I just took a picture of you. And if you look at yourself now, you're smiling, you're beautiful, you're listening and all that. When you were reading The Old Lady, you started to go, didn't you?
Yeah.
You did. Your body began to take on the character of what you were reading. And that then went into your voice. Okay. So,
Yeah. Especially when I got angry that he's not giving me my dozen and an extra. So I was angry.
you were
So
angry.
that thing I felt that
Yeah.
Van Emerson, your heart is small, that way.
Yes. And what does that tell me as your mentor is she's beginning to truly understand. Hey!
She has got new toys, so she's showing it to me.
Oh, they're pretty. I love the colors, and I love the color of the dress too. But you see,
Lantana, she is your daughter?
Yes.
daughter, yeah.
Yes.
So
Yes.
as the readers begin to better understand the words, and they begin to read more smoothly, and their comprehension grows, and as that happens, then they begin to start being able to take on and the character itself. You'll start to see that change. Okay.
Yes. Right.
That lets you know that they have a better understanding of what it is that they're reading. Okay.
Yes.
And so the next step after this, I hope, is going to be ones where you're going to start not liking the way something ends, or you want to, redo it, and you start editing and changing some of the readers' theaters, as we were doing in Chicken Little and the Three Billy Goats Gruff. And then we start taking one of your own stories and making it into a reader's theater. So if you think about the process that you're going through, first of all, you come in, you watch, you listen, you wonder. Then you take the next step of trying to do the reading. And you become more involved in the reading, and your confidence begins to build, and your pace and all of that starts to grow, and you begin to comprehend better what the story is about, and the words and the vocabulary, because now you have a better knowledge of that English. And then as you begin to do that, you start to criticize and question and move it that much further.
Yeah.
And you begin to take on the part in your voice and your body, and then that gives you the confidence to say, I think I can change this, I think I can do this, to I can write my own and share that out. Okay. Now, not everybody's at the same place at the same time, which is why we kind of say when we want to start these groups, these theater groups up, readers theater groups up, about 12 to a mentor would be nice. 10 to 12. And I say that because that way, if you have a 5 or 6 part play, you can do 2, you know, which is nice. You can use those breakout rooms and be able to have them go out, practice and come in and share with each other. Because eventually we want to be able to do that on a global basis, so that once a month we'll have kind of a global event and the clubs can all come together and we'll put them in rooms and they'll share the play that they want to do. So we really can get kids to interact with other kids from anywhere.
Right.
And when I say kids, that's for the kids. We want to do the same for the teachers and the adults. You know, really would love to offer this to schools as a workshop. So if that's something that you think a school or whatever that you're affiliated with might be interested in a workshop for their teachers for this, let us know. It's also kind of a nice way to be able to make a little income.
Yeah.
Right? Right. So that being said, I think that we've lost Nigel.
Yeah, we have lost so many.
And we've lost Nadia. But so I'll put this up in the newsletter about all of these different things. And I will put into the English Reading Club about the Matrix workshop. And then I'll wait for feedback and see whether or not, first of all, this Saturday might be too soon. People aren't able to do that. They want to move it. So just, you know, talk amongst yourself. We'll talk in the chat box there and finalize when that will happen. And I'll also ask who's going to come, because I will send you your journal that you'll use for the workshop. Okay. All right.
I'll be definitely there. I'll
You're
definitely
there. Okay. And huh?
I will also try.
Okay. Well, I will make sure to send you the journal, and I hope that it will be fun.
Yes.
Okay. I hope the reading theater is fun, because learning should be fun. Your daughter. Now, how old is your daughter?
She's turning 8 this July, 3rd July.
3rd of July. Wow.
3rd of July. Yes.
She's a week before my birthday.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
How sweet is that?
Yeah, that's very sweet. Now, how come she's not joining the Kids Readers Theater?
I had sent you an email with the details of my children, like my son and my daughter.
Okay.
I'll send it again. Plus, I would like my niece also to join. She's also interested.
Okay.
In Messenger, I'll write it again for you.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
I need first and last name, the age, the country, you know, because we've got mixed countries, and basic level of English. Can they read The Very Hungry Caterpillar? That would be, I would at least want them to
quite
be
good.
Yeah.
Their English is quite good.
Yeah. And so this will be really fun. If I can get a couple of kids from the US in the group too, that would be good.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure we have a list of one of them sent me, and I can't remember who sent me, a list of 3 people, but it was, you know, 3 names and ages, and that was it. I really need to have more information so that I can know, you know, who to send a letter to for the, Okay, well, you know, this has been great. I gotta thank you both for sticking through with me.
Anytime.
And it's the reason I chose that story, it was about superheroes. And I have a story to share at some point about superheroes that I wrote, but I don't have illustrators, and I need kids to illustrate the story for me. So maybe we'll look at that piece at another time. But it's about superheroes. And the fact that everybody is a superhero.
Yeah.
So we'll share that with you maybe next time. Think about, gee, got anybody who might like to do some drawings for me? That would be awesome. And so this is Tracy Hansen, and we are supported by and sponsored by Next Generation Global Education in the Matrix of the Learner. And I thank you all for joining us. We'll see you all on Friday.